This is VORW. Because it's a longer show, I took a little break, went out for a walk, and now I'm back. It's 4 o'clock p.m. on the button. Continuing on with the mailbag program. We'll just keep on reading. We'll go for about 45 minutes, and what we don't get to, maybe we'll do another part 2 show. It'll be covered in the next show, but I think we'll get everything covered, don't you worry. So, continuing on. Let's get the messages open here. Okay, community. Let's get to the community tab. We got to do that if we want messages. And there we go. Dear Mr. VORW, I never know what to call you. In answer to the last VORW question, I've been listening to you for about 2 years, and in that time I've written maybe 5 times. I'm guessing. Just absolutely adore you. In fact, I totally divide my friends up by who gets you and who doesn't. I'm kidding, of course. Regards from Nancy. Thank you for writing. 2 years is a pretty decent period of time, and an interesting strategy, dividing the mates, as some people call them, up. This person writes, "Hey buddy, do you still play RuneScape?" I do not. I don't. I stopped playing that in 2010, and then I had an extensive advertising campaign going from 2011 up until probably 2013, and sometimes a person here and there actually advertise to spread my name out in the game, and I'll get people message me on YouTube and everything, and they'll say, why are you spamming in the game? And I say, don't do that. But, who knows, to each his own. I can't control what those people do anymore, but I've stopped my advertising campaign in that game for, it's been years now. I used to, though. I used to advertise there to spread the word. Hello, Review Bra. Tell me how you're doing. I could be wrong, but you seem to be a little down in your latest videos. Sorry if you're going through any difficult times, but it is always good to stay positive. After all, feeling bad, sad, or angry won't do anything except hurt yourself. So cheer up, my friend. Things will start coming together soon enough, if they haven't started to already. You have thousands behind you every step of the way as well. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Just November, That's the only explanation I can give. November, historically speaking, has always been a rough month for me. Always get more down than usual in November, just how it is, To answer the question for your survey, he writes, I have been watching your videos since sometime in early 2014. I believe the first thing I watched was a review for some energy drink. Forgive me, as I cannot remember the name. I found you interesting in that you seem true to yourself compared to everyone else on YouTube. You didn't have those fancy intros or outros that take over a minute to watch. You weren't clamoring for attention, and you seemed non-biased and honest in your reviews. Not to mention, you were dressed pretty fancy for a review, which I later learned that to be your casual wear. I must say, it is fantastic to see some style in this day and age for once. I started watching your videos since then. Later, finding the VORWs, I was hooked. As for writing in, I believe this to be but the 3rd time I write to you. Now that I think of it, I wish I had written in sooner. I finally decided to show you my support and plan to continually do so, as you are one reviewer I do not wish to see disappear. And if so, I would imagine it is because you moved on happily, presumably to host a radio show, which I assure you I will no doubt be tuning into. Like always, my dear friend, I wish you the best and hope everything is going well for you. Keep up the great work and have an amazing day or night. Your friend, Rudy. Thank you for writing in, of course. Thank you very much. And yeah, November is just, it's always been rough, but thankfully I'm making it through. I'm making it through with ease. I am. I got things to look forward to. I got things to keep me going, and it's exactly what I do. I just keep going. I have things to motivate me and keep me going. So I do have that. I do. Thank you for your remarks. Thank you for your comments. And it's okay. You know, third time's a charm, as they always say. Always is. Fine message as well. And I imagine it must be something when you see all the reviews and realize that this isn't like some sort of costume or I'm not some type of character. This is just me, you know. Anyways, thank you so much for writing in. And finally, the last message in the YouTube inbox. Hello, lecturer. To answer your survey questions, I've been listening to VORW for 2 years. I'm ashamed to admit I've only written in 4 times that I can remember. Please don't end listener questions. Night walking is a hobby of mine, and I'm missing the night walk segment of your show. My question to you is, which countries would you like to visit that you haven't been to before? First, thank you for writing in, of course. And, yeah, night walking is some good stuff, I'll tell you that. I went for a daytime walk today just because it can get, you know, I mean, in the winter when it's freezing every day, it's different, you know. You're just used to the cold. But when it first starts getting cold, it's always like it's worse, you know? Always is. Just because you've been going from temperatures in the 60s, 70s, 80s Fahrenheit to now, you know, 50s, 40s, and then at night it's in the 20s. So that first cold in November and December is always brutal to me. But then after that I kind of just get used to it, and then maybe night walk some more, we'll see, but, you know. Otherwise, I went for a daytime walk today. Went for a nice, calm, midday walk. When all the kids were in school still. You know? Just got to enjoy went out for like a nice 2 p.m. walk around. Didn't have to worry about all the kids running around or anything. You know, everyone doing their thing, and I was able to take a walk, so it was nice. You know, nice and calm before the storm, when everyone gets out for the weekend. But now I'm back inside, but it was nice to get a fresh air. So it was honestly very nice to get a little bit of fresh air. And if you're wondering what I wore for a walk, if you're curious, I'm wearing these dark, it belongs to a suit, these pants, dark green, like, what is this stuff called? I have no idea. It's just a very dark green. There's a name for it. Forget it. If it ever comes to mind, I'll just tell you, but I can't sit here all day finding out the name for some sort of, you know, some name of some type of color or whatever they call it. But, you know, it's just a very dark green, you know, type of suit. So there's that. Okay. I was wearing the pants that pleated, creased, and no cuffs on this one, unfortunately, but I needed the pants to be extended a little bit. Just a little bit, you know, just a little bit. But with that, I wore a white shirt, pattern tie, wore the black dress shoes, and I put the rubber overshoes over them to protect the shoes themselves, you know. And then I had on a scarf. It was a scarf. Oh, and the suit color, it's olive green suit. So olive green dress pants. And put on a scarf, put on the overcoat, and that's what I walked with. But you know, I wouldn't put on athletic wear. Even if I went out for a run, I'd find some way to still manage to wear a tie. You know, I would. But which countries to visit? No, it's a good question. Anywhere in Europe, really. You know, anywhere in Europe. And I'm not going to get political with what's going on in Europe now, but really anywhere in Europe. It's a beautiful place. Many beautiful places in Europe. Maybe one day, right? Maybe one day. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we got in the YouTube inboxes. If you messaged me via YouTube and your letter was not tended to, let me know. And link me or resubmit your letter, and we'll get to it first next show. Checking the emails now. Let me check the date, the last time I uploaded the VORW show, so then I can sort through the emails accordingly, and then we're good to go. Okay? November 11th, okay. Okay. November 11th. Same applies for the emails. If you don't get, you don't get the, if I don't, attend to the email that you send me, just let me know, and we'll get it taken care of, okay? Good. Greetings and salutations, Review Bra. Have you ever considered using royalty-free music during your show at any point, or having introduction music, possibly by a user? Dedicated listener, Alex. I mean, the thing with royalty-free music is that usually it's just a drum beat, and someone's strumming their guitar for the same 3 notes for 5 minutes, and that's it. It's not really, I mean, sometimes it is, but oftentimes it's not a real song. And intro music, I just prefer standard, this is the voice of the report of the week, signing on. That's just the classic greeting, I'm kind of reluctant to change that for now, but maybe one day, we'll see. We'll see, but for now I'm keeping the standard VORW greeting. Okay. Let's see. Dear John, I have attempted to contact you through multiple avenues to no avail. I hope this message makes it past your spam filter and finds you well. Yeah, we got it. We got it. Don't you worry. I just watched, this is from October, by the way, of resubmission, and as I always say, get to resubmissions. I just watched a Burger King pumpkin spice Oreo shake video. Now, I understand you felt the ambient noise present during the shake review was sub-ideal. Your presentation was impeccable as ever. I recently listened to VORW Show 102, and it did not seem as though some of the messages I've sent you in the past have made it through. Decided to copy and paste them here. 1. What are your feelings on high armholes in suits? Do you own any suits of this modification, and do you believe it is worthwhile to have this modification performed on an otherwise well-fitted suit? High armholes, I'm not a big fan of them at all. I'm just standard armholes, even a little more roomier than they are now. They always try to get, with modern suits, the armholes are supposed to be tighter and more snug fitting on the arm, making it more difficult for you to move around. But, I just prefer a standard armhole, plenty of room, too. He writes, my favorite book is Demian by Hermann Hesse. I believe it could be a favorite of yours, too, but which English translation you use is critical. Michael Roloff is, in my opinion, the most competent translator of his works. I understand you're likely inundated with requests to review various food and beverage items, especially as the categories you cover grow broader. Still, I thought I'd add in my own suggestion after coming across this article about a popular subreddit, r/food, and it's a Vice article. It's an article from Vice Media. It says the disgusting food of Reddit's bro cooking community. And it's a nice article about that. See if you'll picture some pizza. Oh, goodness. He says, now within this subreddit, perhaps the site is structured differently. I have little to no experience with Reddit. There is the bro cooking community, which creates many monstrosities. Perhaps you could prepare some of the items yourself, terrifying as they may be, and review them. Here's another site with similar items. These appear more edible, and it's called dudefoods.com. Sincerely, Matthew. And I'll definitely check out dudefoods.com when I get the time. And finally, he writes, to answer the most recent question from VORW 104, I've been listening to VORW since the very beginning, as I was drawn into your channel by the pizza review, and I believe that the VORW began soon after, and yes, it did. Began in early 2014. Like many others, I then began to search your catalog of videos and came upon the Idle Mind series. Sincerely, Matthew. And not to worry, Matthew, your message has been tended to. Okay, let's see what else we get here. Hello there, VORW. In response to your survey, I've been listening to VORW since early September, starting with episode 100. I've been listening to them in descending order at home, where I started with episode 1 at work. I'm currently on 73 at home and 20 at work. This is my first time writing in. Also, a question occurred to me the other day. People have asked you to review suits, but not something a little more accessible, such as men's underwear. Different brands of socks, undershirts, boxers, or briefs. Perhaps you could talk about the fabric type, comfort level, flexibility, and if you manage to stay cool or warm. Might be an interesting concept. Hope you're doing well and all the best. That's an interesting as well. I imagine if I were to do those reviews, though, I would still do them with dignity and wear a suit, even if I were to review socks or men's underwear, I suppose. And that'd certainly be a unique review. I'll give you that. I think I'd start out with suits first if I want to do sartorial reviews, and then maybe if I'm ever experienced in the field to a degree, move on to these garments. And I think that's pretty neat that you're listening to counting them down at home and counting them up at work. I think that's pretty cool. Hello, brah. To answer your latest VORW question, I've been following you quite a bit now. I heard of you through 4chan's R9K board, where you were somewhat of a cult hero. That was quite a few years back, just after your infamous review that shall not be named. I did not write in much at all. In fact, I think I've only written in twice, 3, including this email. I can understand your disdain for the lack of messages and ignorance of your questions by the majority. I am uncertain of the factors that contribute to this, but I would pin it in that we are currently entering the winter lull. Many younger viewers are back at school, college, and university students are back and at full force. Many workplaces are at a double time to get ready for Christmas, so please don't get dejected. This may not be true to any extent. I do hope your mail flow increases, as I would hate for the VORW mailbag section to disappear. Thank you for reading, and stay positive. Well, thank you for writing. Thank you for writing in, of course. And, perhaps it is a winter lull. Who knows what the culprit may be exactly, but thankfully the mail turnout did increase a bit. It increased quite a bit, and it's, nice to see, I guess. Rather nice to see. The winter lull, yeah, you are right. It's kind of like the epitome of the grind right now. Everyone's at school, at work, and so forth. Let's see what's next. Dear Report of the Week. In response to the survey/question, I've been listening to the VORW program for about 1 month, and this is my first time writing in. Additionally, I have been actively following and watching your channel in general for about 1 month. I've become quite a fan of your channel in the last month, and I particularly enjoy the VORW show, as I'm sure many others would agree. Your VORW shows are incredibly relaxing and comforting to listen to. Not just your voice, but specifically your musings, ramblings, digressions, and general talk. When listening, I feel like you are truly someone I can relate to, like a close friend. I like to listen to the VORW shows whilst lying in bed in the hour or so before going to sleep. It is a great way to end the day, and it has helped me fall asleep and sleep deeply, so for that I thank you. Your reviews, lectures, and other miscellaneous videos that you produce are, of course, also greatly appreciated and equally enjoyable to watch. I, for one, have to say that I do not drink energy drinks and rarely eat fast food, yet I am like a kid on Christmas morning whenever I see that you have uploaded a new review. I admire authenticity, class, and professionalism, sense of humor, style, and your general take on things. My question to you: are you still writing that short story, Regression of Life, or working on any other writings? I'd be thrilled to hear some more of Regression of Life, or any other of your writings on the VORW? Also, would you ever consider reading something written by a fan on the program? For example, short stories, excerpts, poetry, etc. Thanks again, and I hope this letter finds you well. Best regards, Jared. Thanks for writing in, Jared. To answer your question, I still am working on Regression of Life. I'm many pages into it. Part of me wants to read it on the air, and part of me says I shouldn't. Simply because it's not a children's, novel, and that it's not a happy book. Not a happy, I guess it's a short story at this point. It is not a happy short story, Just how it is. So that's the one thing about it. That kind of, it just kind of makes me, think, well, should I really read this or no? Because, number one, it's not a children's story, and number two, it's, it deals with sensitive matters, such as depression, and, the things some people think when they're depressed. And, I just don't want some people to take it the wrong way, but, regardless, in due time, if, I figure I'll eventually share it. Maybe I should leave that up to the VORW audience. If you guys want to hear at least a few more pages of Regression of Life, please let me know, and I'll read it. If you don't really want to hear that, and you don't want to have to deal with that subject matter, let me know too. Perhaps what I could do maybe is just have I just know some people, just take that differently about, depression and everything. So I just, I might put a little discretion warning beforehand or whatever if someone doesn't want to hear all that stuff, but maybe I'll do that. I'll think about it, but, let me know your thoughts. Anyone in general, if you want me to read a little bit more of that or not, feel free to write in, let me know. And short stories, I have thought about reading little excerpts from books or whatever on the show. We'll see how that goes, but that ever comes to anything, so we'll see. Hello. Recently found your channel, and of course, I've noticed your particular style of dress. While I know some people would think your manner of dress is odd, it's a fact that basically everyone used to dress like this. But do you think you could stand dressing this way in the summer without any air conditioning or even fans? I often see pictures from the early 20th century where every man is dressed in a full suit, even in the summer. Was this really a bearable way to live? I can barely imagine living without AC, let alone having to deal with a hot wool suit at the same time. From a new fan. Oh, and absolutely. Oh, easily. I've done that many times too. I've worn full suits on 90-degree days with no air conditioning. I have. There's people usually wearing shorts and tank tops who are sweating. There I am, full suit, long sleeves. Still buttoned, the top button and all the other buttons buttoned still. Jacket on, I dress like that every single day of the year. Weather is not a hindrance to me. I've worn sweaters on 80-degree days, so, it's just my perception of heat and all that is just different. I don't really sweat that much either, so. No, absolutely, of course. I've dressed that way on hot days. It's something I can stand, something that's bearable to me, so, not an issue on my end. Let's see what else we got here. Dear Review Bra, first let me start off by saying I love all your videos. I've seen all of them, even the ones that aren't available anymore. Long-time listener, first-time writer. My question is this, and forgive me if it is too political for your liking, but what is your opinion on the legalization of marijuana in the United States? Look forward to your response. Thank you for all that you do. Your friend, Kretz. I know this would cause debate, so I'll just answer it simply and concisely. I think it most certainly has its benefits, and in some regards it may have its drawbacks as well, but I'd say there's definitely some pluses and minuses in both categories there. So you can say I don't overtly oppose it or support it, kind of a neutral stance on that topic, you know? My lord, dear almighty review bro, my fancy was quite tickled to hear that you read my message last time. I adore the show and often listen to VORW in the wee hours while sipping on a delicately iced Dr. Bob. My request for this week is that you deliver this message on your show. Some parts have been spelled out phonetically for your convenience. Sam, I've taken all of your plekisms. I have also taken your Steve. If you wish to have these back, you must deliver unto me 4 juicy pear-flavored Jelly Belly jelly beans. True. Thank you for your cooperation, Review Bra. To continue, I would like to ask if you have considered voting for Vermin Supreme, the friendliest fascist in America. Your whimsical deity fills me with more giddy than a crackhead's rock collection. You are a truly magnificent being, though you may not need it, with your ability of omniscience. You will forever be my muse, Bob, your loyal follower and fellow burger connoisseur. Thanks, Bob. And, wonderful that I do that to you. And I hope that message got to its respectful recipient. And I hope that those jelly beans were delivered unto you. You drive a hard bargain, my friend. Okay. That's all for this email. Now to vorwinfo@gmail.com, and then we close things down. We shut it down. Okay. Hello, Review Bra. Sorry I didn't send any fan mail last week. I meant to, but it somehow slipped my mind. To answer your question, I've been listening to VORW for about a year and a half, I would say. I send fan mail, roughly 2 or 3 VORWs. I like to send fan mail as much as I can, but sometimes I don't have much to ask. I usually send fan mail by messaging you on YouTube, but I decided to send an email this time. So questions for you. Where do you buy your suits, and how expensive are they? I have one suit, got it for my prom, got it from a local department store. I get my suits from a variety of online sources. Just how it is. Stores today, they just don't have the variety of suits that I like. It's all slim fit stuff. 2-button, tight, slim fit suits, and that's it. Nothing that I like, so I have to go online to find desirable suits. And there, you can still find suits that are nice, 3-button suits, pleated pants, 2-button wide lapel suits, double-breasted, and such. So that's where I get it, online. And because these suits aren't popular in the least, and a lot of them are used but in excellent condition, they're cheap. They're affordable, Prices still vary, but just because they're not a style that people like anymore. A lot of people choose to wear, if anything. What are your favorite classical composers and classical pieces? I'm trying to expand my music tastes as 90% is the same genre. Personally, I'm a fan of The Planets by Gustav Holst. And, honestly, what I do with my classical music is I'm just very open. I don't listen to a specific composer. A lot of stations on shortwave still play classical music. Radio Austria International has a broadcast every evening, and they play classical music for a good half hour from, I think it's like 1:30 to 2 a.m., and I'm up for that, so I'm able to hear that. And they just play a variety of composers, probably a lot of them German classical composers. Most of them are German classical composers and Austrian classical composers. I know it's a lot of the two that they play. I remember looking up some of the composers one time for a reception report. A lot of them were German, but pretty neat to have a good variety. Radio Romania plays a lot of Romanian composers. On the weekends, they play a lot of classical music, too. And there's Radio France International, which probably plays a lot of French composers, or maybe just classical in general. But it's a French program, so, who knows. And then there's actually a pirate station out there that doesn't even legally broadcast, but it's called Radio Voyager. And they play just classical music, too, which is nice. I mean, I don't know. Pirate radio, now it's just the same classic rock songs, It's what it is, but to see classical music played as a pirate station, it's very nice to see. But, I'll just take what's given to me and, just enjoy it like that. Just, see what we get tonight and discover different composers through that process. When you listen to music, do the lyrics impact whether or not you like the music? I don't really care about the lyrics, but if they're really good, it's a nice bonus. And if they're really, really awful, it might ruin an otherwise decent song for me. Yes. Yes, they do, as a matter of fact. Let me see. The only reason I'm going to bring this disgrace up is, number one, it was played on Radio Kuwait a bunch of times when they were still broadcasting on shortwave. And number two, I think it's a good example of this. There's a tune released in 2013 known as number sign Selfie. And, of course, it's a satirical piece. People wouldn't think it was, but it is. And if it's not, I don't even want to talk about it then. But, you listen to it, and I just say it's an awful song. Listening to the lyrics, it's just horrible, horrible, horrible. I get that it's satire, and I admire it for that, because it's kind of making fun of that lifestyle, hopefully. I hope I'm perceiving it that way correctly. And if it's not, words can't even describe my dissent towards it then. But, number one, because those lyrics are so awful, it made me just, even no matter how the song is written, it's a horrible song, in my opinion. So it's because of those lyrics, and because of the voice that it's sung in, and the lyrics themselves, especially. If it had no lyrics, if it was an instrumental piece, it would just be like some random EDM piece, That's all it would be. Just some random, just some EDM piece. I'd be like, nothing special about it, that's okay. Wouldn't really listen to it. Maybe some nice background music it is. So I think the lyrics do. And finally, he asks, what will you be doing for Christmas this year? Really just gonna be spending Christmas with those close to me, and just a very simple Christmas. But no big procedure. It's gonna be the people who just have significance to me, and that's all there is to it. Keep up the great work. Never stop being you. From Josh. Thank you, Josh. If you could shoot one type of cheese out of your eyes as a defense mechanism, what cheese would it be? Provolone cheese. Because if it was Swiss cheese, there's a chance that it's not going to hit the target as effectively. Provolone, I always used to get that on sandwiches back when I went to Subway more often. I used to get the Italian BMT. I always get provolone on that. So that's why. You could call me anti-American because I don't get the good old American cheese, but it's just how it is. Swiss cheese, I just think there's so many holes in it, it has a chance of just going off course due to wind blowing through them, and it might not have maximum damage impact, We're on the final stretch here. To respond to the question, I've been listening to VORW this last 4 months. I got into your channel then, and I just watch pretty much everything you do. This will be my first time writing in, since I normally listen to this at work, and forget about email/message by the time I get home. I wanted to say I enjoy your videos, and I'm pretty happy that you upload them late. I'm a night owl, so it's always nice to see them fresh when they're uploaded. Since someone has asked you about your favorite author, I think it made me think of a question. I was wondering if you had a favorite film director. I'm also curious what you'd consider your favorite movie. I answered a question similar earlier in the show. Not a real big movie buff, so watching a movie to me is just a real process. Another movie, I really don't watch many movies. You know, I said I was watching As Above, So Below. I don't watch too many other movies. I remember a while ago I was watching a movie, this was 2014 even, but, from Jackass. Or at least incorporation of them, the movie Bad Grandpa. That was quite funny. I was watching that on an airplane on a flight home from Hawaii. It was a long flight, a red-eye flight, like 9-10 hours. And, it's from Hawaii to Review Land. And it was, a nice plane, had the little screens on the back of each seat, very, interactive, and everyone else was kind of sleeping. I was watching a movie because I couldn't sleep. And, one of the movies that was available was Bad Grandpa. And I thought it was quite funny. And I think it was even funnier to me because I actually really couldn't laugh out loud because everyone else was kind of sleeping. It was a red-eye flight. And there's this movies, I'm trying to muffle my laughter from it. And, But I just watch the movies, if it piques my interest, I'll watch it. But I don't have like a specific director where I'll say, I'm only going to watch stuff from this guy because he's a good director. Don't really do that. Also, if you ever come to Mount Airy, North Carolina, go ahead and shoot me a message and I'll buy you dinner. Keep doing what you do, man. Love your work. Thank you for writing. Hey, Review Bro. I'm writing you again since you want more emails. You said that this only show that you watch nowadays is The Walking Dead, so I'd like to suggest another show for you. Suits. Maybe it's just because of the show's name, but I think you might enjoy it, as I certainly do. It's about two lawyers working at a major law firm who specialize in closing cases. But one of them never went to Harvard, so they have to hide that secret. I know that doesn't sound very exciting, but I hope you do give it a chance. And are you excited to hear that Negan has been casted and will be coming to The Walking Dead? Have a good day from Scott. Thank you, Scott. And I'll definitely consider Suits. I've heard of that show before, and I never knew the premise. So thank you for explaining that to me. And I am pretty excited to see. I mean, Negan is going to be 10 times worse than the governor, I imagine, if they do it correctly. He's something else, all right. And if you read the comics, you know what's going to be coming for someone, at least, in part because of Negan. Definitely am. I think we got a few more left, and then we're wrapping things up here. Hope you're doing well. In the last show, you asked 2 questions, which are my answers. Been watching your video since late July this year, so roughly 3.5 months, following discussion on R9K. This is my first fan letter to you. First of all, let me tell you what I like most about your channel. Well, it looks like it's straight out of the 90s. When I first opened one of your videos, I honestly couldn't tell if they were actually from the early 2000s or late 90s. And actually, this is what got me hooked. I also love the standard definition camera with the noise of the tape. It just adds so much to the vibe of your videos. I also like the suit, your unusual humor, and your straight-to-the-point approach telling us what it is. I'd be really disappointed if you ditched the SD camera in favor of the HD camera. I think the high quality just kills the magic, in my opinion at least. And I do agree. That's why I'm only using the HD for the public reviews and nothing more. I don't want to use it for anything more either. On to another topic, you mentioned thinking about getting a P.O. box, and I think this would be a great thing. I think this is how you could conquer the international food reviewing market. I'm one of your very few Eastern European listeners, more specifically from Budapest, Hungary, and it'd be great to send you some Hungarian foods or snacks. Just think about it. And think about it, I shall. I also like to tell you how crazy I am myself. Usually I prepare myself some food, frozen pizza most of the time, open a bottle of beer or just tea, and sit down in front of the computer and watch your newest review. It's almost comical, I know, but it's nice to grab some food with a friend of some sort. It's kind of like my daily routine. I usually play GTA 5 while listening to your thoughts in VORW. I like to drive around the Los Santos Highway, very comforting to me. My question for you is, are you planning a Review Bro World Tour or something? You could have a meet-up with fans in major cities around the globe. Well, anyway, my letter has become rather lengthy, so I'll finish it up by saying goodbye and take care from Attila. World Tour, I can't, who knows? Who knows about that? But, maybe one day. You never know if I amass the funding to travel around, to traverse the states and the globe, and then we'll see. Then I guess I could call it the Report of the Week's World Tour and be direct competition to Joey. And last letter. Dear Review Bro, first of all, I want to thank you for your excellent content. It makes me happy that there is a channel on YouTube where every video is both informative and entertaining. You also dress very well, and I share your affinity for classic clothing and hairstyles. Question. You mentioned something about typewriters on your last VORW show. Do you type regularly or collect typewriters? Thanks for all the hard work from Typewriter Bra. Well, Typewriter Bra, I do have a typewriter. Fully functioning electric typewriter. Everything is completely functional by it. And I do use it. I use it regularly. Now, what I use it for is if I have to type up an important document, I use that. And the other thing that I utilize the typewriter for is when I'm writing a written reception report to a shortwave station. Because, most stations, they accept the emailed reports, but some of them are more old school, and you have to physically write in and send a postal letter to get your QSL card. So if I'm submitting a postal reception report, I actually just type it in via the typewriter, and then I always type the address on the letter envelope to, or via the typewriter as well. So I still use it for that, and most recently I used it a few days ago to write to a German station called, I don't know what it's called, Mischenwerk, Friedrichstein, or something to that extent. It's a German religious station broadcast to Russia in Russian. They give out QSL cards if you write in, and it's a QSL card with a picture of Russia on it, so I wanted that. So I typed it up and sent it over, mailed it out today, and hoping for the best there. But I don't collect typewriters, but I do legitimately, seriously use them. Well, this has been a lengthy show, but we got all of your letters, and it's kind of nice to see it. This is a longer show, because it shows really that each and every one of you do care enough to actually write in and fill up the inbox as it is. So thank you very much for that. This concludes the VORW show. This is VORW, the voice of the Report of the Week. Remember, our question, simply put, what's your favorite decade of music? Always eager to have you listen next time, for you to write in. Please do if you'd like. Message me via YouTube, youtube.com/user/report of the week. Click on the About tab and send message, or contact us via email, repweekinterview1@gmail.com. That's repweekinterview1, the number 1, @gmail.com, no spaces between the words. Or email us at vorwinfo@gmail.com. That's vorwinfo@gmail.com. Have a wonderful weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent Friday night. Thank you again for listening. This is VORW, the voice of the Report of the Week. More videos to follow. Stay tuned. Stay safe. And we will see you around. Take care, everyone. We wish you all the very best. Goodbye. This is the voice of the Report of the Week, signing off.